And so I DM'd her. I said, I would love for you to be in the overnight music video when you come back from the Olympics. She said yes. And it was just an amazing time. Like, she was so nice, so sweet. And we became friends after that.
They say change takes time, but baby, we can fix it overnight.
You're huge in China.
It's big. It's big. It's definitely big. It's bigger than I've ever been in America, which is awesome. I was on the list of like the top 15 male pop acts.
Your first 2 shows were pretty insane.
Snoop Dogg was number 1 and Mac Miller was number 2.
You opened for those guys.
Yes. I almost didn't post it. Yeah. He is my wife's stepdad's friend.
I realized that when she said a guy from the office, she meant like literally.
What's up?
Why is Oscar in my house?
I was invited.
I'm super confused right now.
I tried to tell you.
How would you explain your transformation as an artist? Because being in this industry for 10 years is so crazy, and I feel like you've kept reinventing yourself, and you've had your most successful year last year, which is insane.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. It is definitely hard to continue to reinvent yourself year after year in an industry that's literally changing every day. But I think on top of just trying to adapt to like what's popular musically and like what's, what I want to make balance with what's popular musically in the world, I'm also like trying to lean into like the whole social media thing. And I think for a while, I didn't really want to I wanted to have like a very clear divide between like an influencer and a musician. But now I'm just trying to like kind of be everything. And I think that, my social media has really kept me relevant over the last, 10 years. And I think just my transparency of like who I am on social media and like just being my true self and showing my wife and our life and our house transformation mixed with our music. And I just show everything on social media. And I think that that's kind of the reason why I've been able to gain new fans and keep the ones that I currently have.
When I sent my wife your house tour,
Yeah.
I completely blanked even saying that we knew each other. But she's like, we went 2 days, and she's like, yeah, I watched his house tours. I'm like, oh, I know him.
That's so funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
we go way back.
Yeah.
We go way, way back. But yeah, like the house tour is like something like if you would have asked me 5 years ago, like I never would have posted like a video showing off my house or like a kitchen renovation. Like it was strictly music.
What's the hesitation with that?
What was it back then?
Yeah.
I just thought that I'm a musician. I shouldn't do anything except post music stuff. Like people follow me for my music, and I shouldn't post any girlfriend stuff. I shouldn't post any gym stuff. Like I'm a musician. And so but it's completely like these days with Instagram and TikTok and being able to like expose yourself to a whole, audience of people that have never heard of you. I always say like everything I do, all the things that I post, it's all in hopes that people follow me and then go check out my music. Whether it's a house tour video, whether it's a video of me and my wife in the pool, like it's all to make people hopefully go listen to my music.
What was the first video you posted that you realized, oh, I should keep doing this?
I mean, over the pandemic, my sister was like, I went home to my parents' house and my sister was like, can you do some TikTok dances with me? And this was like right when TikTok was popping off. It was mostly just people dancing. And my sister was like, you should get a TikTok. And, we're going to be at our parents' house for a couple months and the world is shut down. Like, you might as well make the most of it. Get a TikTok, be creative. And I remember sitting at my parents' house thinking like, all right, like if I'm going to be on TikTok and if I'm not going to dance, but like I will somehow show off like my musical skills while being kind of goofy and funny in like a 30-second format. And so I started to make what we called quarantunes. And they were just like 30-second songs of like me making like household item beats around the house and like rapping just stupid little songs with my family. And they went like super viral. And like at that point in my life, up to then, nothing had gone viral. I've never put out like a music video on YouTube or a song that's like overnight gone viral. So I'm like, what, man, like TikTok really like can give me an outlet to like reach more people, even if it's like stupid little silly content. And so those TikTok videos were like the kind of eye-opening of like, all right, maybe I can lean into like social media stuff and try to get more people that way to go back to the music.
And stuff like that birthed Oscar from The Office.
Yeah, absolutely.
One
of my favorite videos.
You almost didn't post it.
I almost didn't post it. Yeah. He is my wife's stepdad's friend because Oscar is an actor. My wife's stepdad is an actor. And Oscar's just a really nice guy. I said, would you want to be in one of these little quarantunes? They're kind of blowing up on TikTok. He came over to the house. We filmed it. It was awesome. And then like as I'm editing it, I'm like, I just don't think Oscar will think this is funny. That's why I didn't want to post it. I didn't really care about anyone else. I'm like, I just care so much that Oscar thinks this is like a nice, funny piece of content, and I don't think he will like it.
Was he having a good time while filming it?
He had a great time. Yeah, he was like improvising and like changing lines and like being hilarious, being himself. But for some reason, when I was editing it, I'm like, I just don't want him to like think this is silly. And I posted it, and it became like the most, viewed video I'd ever posted.
Was he pumped with the response of it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he really cared about like the views because he's Oscar.
Yeah.
He's a worldwide household name. I would text him and be like, it's 10 million, it's 20 million. And he'd be like, thumbs up emoji.
I did stuff with Brian Baumgartner, and I was like, dude, 8 million views on the video. He's like, is that good?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Is that like a lot or a little?
It's really good.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, definitely one of my favorite videos. And just another example of like, that's just such a goofy, silly video, but like it's gained me so many fans. Like I never would have thought that like someone would come up to me or DM me and be like, I started following you from the Oscar video and now I love your music. I'm like, that's crazy, but cool. Like that's why I did it.
Are you finding people do that with the house tour stuff too?
With everything. Yeah. Just recently I posted a video saying like, thank you for 1 million followers. Comment like when you found me and how you found me. And like, it's all just like super random. Like I found you from the Oscar video. I found you from your wife's video of you guys from your wedding. Like it's just a really cool time to be like a creator or a musician or an influencer, whatever you want to call it. Cause there's so many different, ways that your stuff can get out there to new people.
How do you divvy up the time for music, content, other stuff?
It's really just what I'm in the mood for that day. And on top of what you just said, I also have all this specific content that I'm making every day for China social media.
And that's not even being posted here?
No, nobody here sees it. It's completely different social media, different trends, stuff that I don't even sometimes understand, but my record label in China will be like, this is a popular trend. Can you remake this video with Brandy tonight? And I don't even know what it means. Literally, I don't know what it means. I trust them enough to know that I'm not saying anything crazy. But like we'll sit at the kitchen and like draw a dragon, like a red dragon, and like that's the video. And I send it to them and like it goes crazy over there.
Completely different social media.
Completely different. You have to completely like just view it in a different light. And but back to your question, I mean, it just depends on how I'm feeling that day, whether I want to wake up and if I'm feeling like I want to write a song or if I'm not really feeling too creative and I, want to make a little video for Instagram. But it all helps. It all goes to the same, cause, which is really cool. I thought it was really cool. I'm not like one to get like super caught up in statistics and analytics, but I saw on my Instagram insights that like in the last 3 months, my reach, 99% of it was non-followers, which means that 99% of the people that saw all my stuff had not even followed me at that point. So it just shows you like how many new people are seeing my stuff and again, hopefully going and checking out my music.
Let's talk about China.
Yeah, let's do it.
You're huge in China.
Not huge, but it's big. It's big. It's definitely big. It's bigger than I've ever been in America, which is awesome.
And you performed in front of 70,000 people on New Year's?
Yes. Well, just so that I don't like completely get it like wrong. Like it's not when I'm doing these 70,000 people festivals, they're not all there to see me. So like I don't want to like blow it out of proportion, but
there's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people there and a lot of them know Rumors. Pretty much all of them know Rumors. Rumors is basically a hit song in China, which I've never had anywhere in America or the world.
This song came out in 2015.
2015, dude. Yeah.
And what happened?
Somehow or another, like we said, their social media is completely different, and Rumors blew up on their social media platforms. One is called Douyin, which is literally their TikTok, like same logo and everything. And I had no idea about it. I had no clue until I booked a little tour to go to the Philippines and China, and I realized that all of my China shows were just selling out like that. Huge
and why'd
shows.
you pick the Philippines in the first place?
Well, I picked the Philippines because a song called Dazed and Confused, another old one, was going viral in the Philippines. And so we booked a show in the Philippines, like a mini arena. I've never been there before. And it ended up selling like really poorly. It wasn't promoted properly. I think it was like literally like 20 tickets sold. But my agent was like, all right, while you're on that side of the world, let's also do China. I think there's some like buzz over there. And I'm like, China? Okay. We go over there, all sold out. Craziness. Like 2013 America for me, but times 10. And like that's kind of like the last time that we saw each other.
Yeah.
Like things in America for me around like 2013, 2014 were insane. Like really crazy. There were not many like male pop people doing it. There wasn't much social media. The fans were so young and like screaming and following us. I needed security. Like it was a lot different than how it is now. And it feels even crazier out there in China right now when I go out there.
Don't be humble. During that time, you were like the pop guy.
I wouldn't say the pop guy, but there was like 15 pop acts. Justin Bieber being number one. You know, there was Cody Simpson, Austin Mahone, Emblem 3, MKTO. Like, we were doing the same, like, radio.
Every festival,
Yeah.
you were there.
I was there. And so I was on the list of, like, the top 15 male pop acts.
Was that with
in
the
country.
Rumors EP?
That was right when Rumors pretty much came out. And it was just a crazy time. Crazy time.
What's it like for you performing in China? All these years later, people are catching on to that song.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's a song that like I almost considered taking off the set list when I tour in America, just because it's like I'm proud of it and I'm proud of what it's done for my career, but musically, sonically, it's just so outdated from what I like to make now. So as I get older and as I get better as a musician and make better stuff, I like to kind of weed out the old stuff, even though it's like, you know, the popular stuff that the OG fans want to hear. But, you know, it's kind of opened my eyes to the fact that, like, I don't care at all what a song does the first week or first month. I don't care if it gets 0 streams or if it gets 1 million streams. Like, the fact that a song can blow up literally 10 years later gives me so much hope because I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of songs out. So, and this one has literally changed my life. Like, as you said, I had my best year last year because of Rumors.
And you've had crazy years.
And I've had crazy years. So it just gives me so much hope, and I don't put too much pressure on myself anymore when I put out a song and it doesn't do as well as I thought first week, because, you know, who knows? The song might change my life 5, 6, 7, 8 years from now. Weird industry.
What was the trend that the song caught on? Do you know?
I don't know. It
It just happened.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a dance. I don't know if it was just an instrumental in the back of, you know, random songs. But man, like when I do these festivals and like there's 70,000 people
In
China, I go, thank you guys so much for having me. This is my last song. And then da-da-da-da-da-da, and every single person in the audience recognizes the instrumental and their phones go up horizontal. They all film horizontal there because that social media is just different. And it's just a sight to see, man. It's crazy.
Do you do meet and greets there too?
I do, yeah.
How do those go?
They are really fun, but pretty challenging. A lot of people, you know, there's obviously a language barrier.
Do you have a translator?
I do, yeah. I have a couple people with me at all times from like my record label and just agents.
The Chinese record label.
Yeah. They're called 88 Rising. I just signed with them maybe 6 months ago. They're doing great.
Would I know any label mates?
Yeah, actually they have a whole like roster in America. I'm honestly not too like privy on who they have signed, but you would know a lot of their artists, non-Chinese artists as well. But yeah, they'll be with me at the, you know, next to me at the meet and greets, and it's definitely like, it definitely takes a lot longer because I want to give all these people my attention, but like there's a translator, like there's a lot of, you know, communication issues between us. So, but it's amazing. They're all so nice. They're all so sweet. They're so polite. Yeah, it's just a whole nother world out there.
Do you do tours in China?
Yeah, I've done 3 now.
Where you go each day is a different.
Mm-hmm.
How
Yeah.
is it sectioned over there? Like
So-
different cities?
Yeah, different cities. We hop on a flight each time. It's not like America where we hop on a bus and do like 25 tour dates in like a month.
That's what I was wondering.
No, you can't do that because they're too far apart.
And how does the stage set up? Are you bringing your own, or are you using what's at the venue?
I use what's at the venue, and then we also rent some equipment. So we'll have like, you know, smoke, whatever they're called, smoke blowers and LED screens, like bigger production than I've ever had in America, just because, you know, we're getting paid more for these shows, so I can afford to spend more on the production to make the shows great. Like my biggest hope would be, and I still hope that like what's happening in China will come back and happen in America, but there's so much competition here, like endless amount of competition, hundreds and hundreds of artists being discovered every single day. And over there, I feel like when I go over there, it's like there's a Westerner, there's an American here, like what's he doing here? Like people in the festival crowds, they might not know who I am, but they're glued to us because we're a bunch of American kids on stage, and I'm the only American on these lineups.
Oh, there's no one else.
No, you should see the poster of these festivals.
You.
It literally says all these Chinese names, and it says Jake Miller in parentheses USA. It's crazy.
Jake Miller in English?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I am so happy for you.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
This is so cool.
It is really cool. It is really cool, and I'm not taking it for granted at all.
Are there any experiences in China that you were just blown away at?
Like outside of performing?
No, touring, performing, releasing the music there, like while you were there, something that you just couldn't understand was happening besides the whole overall thing.
I mean, everything there is. When I say it's another world, it literally feels like you're on the other side of the world, which you are. But I think it's just the interaction between me and the fans. Like they're so much different than American fans.
What age group are they?
I would say they're about the same, but it's the way that they enjoy the show. It's different. Like the song is over in between this, during the show, and
Silent.
Like it's like they're watching a movie, and like they're really like just watching it and appreciating it, and there's no like mayhem happening in the crowd or like mosh pits.
Do they jump?
At festivals, there's another thing. At festivals, I have to go into this tent with like a bunch of, I don't know if they're cops or, it's kind of scary. And I have to sign and agree to all these things. And one of them is that I will not 3, 2, 1, jump. Like I can't provoke people to jump because they want, the crowds to just be very, at my headlining shows I can. At the festivals, I'm not allowed to do that.
Is the festival because it's a big fairground and there's so many more people?
Probably. Yeah. Everything done in China is done to the biggest, it's really big, everything they do. So yeah, I'm sure that they don't want any like health hazards or people knocking people over, but a lot of people are just sitting crisscross on the lawn, just like appreciating it. It's really cool. Also, you can't show tattoos when you're on stage, which is hard because I have a lot of tattoos and so does my band. But just little things like that, like we come across all day, every day. We're like, that's different, but awesome.
Can you perform 8 tattoos there?
I do perform 8 tattoos. Yeah.
Whoa.
I've always wondered, how come no one said anything about this song that's like literally talking about tattoos, but I'm not allowed to show them. But yeah, crazy.
Another thing that you did, so cool, the music video with Simone Biles.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah, that was a long time ago. She posted a video at the 2018 or something like that Olympics, singing my song Overnight in her hotel room while she was at the Olympics. And so I DM'd her. I said, I would love for you to be in the Overnight music video when you come back from the Olympics. She said yes. And it was just an amazing time. Like she was so nice, so sweet. And we became friends after that. And yeah, she actually, when she did Dancing with the Stars, they put everyone who is on that show in like the same apartment complex while they're on the season. And I lived at that apartment complex. So she was like my next door neighbor for like a couple months. So it was really cool. She's really sweet.
What do you remember from that day?
She was very nervous, which I was like, how are you nervous for this?
Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah, literally. She was really nervous, but she killed it. I remember her being like even shorter than I expected. We had to like put her on top of these apple boxes so that she like fit in the video. But I just remember it being really fun and big production. My record label, I think Warner Brothers at the time, funded it, and there was a stylist there and all these crazy things. So it felt really cool.
If you want to avoid this question, I can cut it out.
No, we don't have to.
The most expensive music video, because you did First Flight Home.
Is that
That's
an earthquake?
Oh, that's a bad one.
I thought that was your dog running into the wall. That was great. Well, you live in a 4-story condo.
I never felt that bad.
My
heart
was
sank.
nuts. Your dog knew that it was going to happen.
Yeah, he was going off.
Wow. Dang. Go to Twitter. That was pretty nuts.
I think it's just scary because, we'll get smushed.
Yeah. I legit thought your dog just ran into a wall.
I thought so too.
I'm getting text messages. Did you guys feel that?
Are you okay?
There was one the other, like a week or so ago that was weird because we got the alert sitting on our couch and we're like, earthquake. And then the house started going like this. We're like, oh shit.
Where's your wife from?
She's from Florida also.
So she's not used to earthquakes?
No. She's felt a few. I mean, she's lived here now with me for like maybe 4 years, but yeah.
You had another the First Flight Home music video.
Yeah.
Was that one of the most, because you guys did it at an airport with a real plane, right?
That was not a real airport or a real plane.
Oh, I thought it was.
But it was the most expensive music video we've ever shot, which is just ridiculous. It was the second I signed with Warner Brothers. I think it was the first song that we did a music video for, and they spent, I think, like $150,000, which honestly, looking back, a lot of artists, big artists spend that much, and it's not that crazy. But now it's like, that's just such a waste of money. Such a waste of money, especially for me. Like, I know what works for me and my audience, and like putting in that much money or even anything more than like $5,000 for a YouTube music video is just not worth it for me anymore. Like, it's much more, it just works better if I'm sitting in my car. Like, I think we live in a day in a time where like anything that's relatable to the viewer works. like this big fancy production with lights, and it doesn't resonate. But like you in your kitchen, like with a spatula as the microphone, for some reason people are like, oh, I relate to this person. Like I don't know when that started. I think it was probably over the pandemic, but that's kind of now how I haven't spent more than a couple $1,000s on music videos in like the last 6 or 7 years.
First Flight Home was a lot of places though, no?
Like the song?
And the music video, didn't they play it at like stores?
For sure. No, I mean, it definitely, I say it was a waste of money, but it wasn't a waste of money then, I guess, because I don't know what that song did for me or what it wouldn't have done for me. I'm sure it would have done equally as well with a music video that was $10,000. That's my point.
Right.
So it's like the label paid for it, yeah, but it's out of my pocket really, because
which you have to pay back anyway.
Which I have to pay back. So at that time I was 18, 19. I didn't know how record labels worked and advances, and I was like, whoa, $150,000 video? Yeah, cool. But it's like, no, you have to pay that back. That's money that you're going to have to pay them once you make that $150,000. So crazy.
How'd you first hear you were being signed to a major label? How'd that offer come about?
That's a great question. That was so long ago. That was like actually a decade ago. Sorry, I'll put this on silent. I'm trying to, I mean, I had a lot of meetings with record labels early on before I signed, and I was kind of starting to get like a taste of like, all right, they're trying to screw me over. All right, that's a decent, record deal. And then I think Warner Brothers happened because my manager who just signed me was Jason Derulo's manager. And Jason at that time was the hottest thing on Warner Brothers. And so Jason and his manager, Frank, were like, the big dogs in the building. So Frank was like, I'm going to sign you, and then I'm going to walk you into Warner Brothers, and we're going to get a great deal. And that's what happened, honestly. And it was great for a while. But, I mean, just like pretty much every relationship in the music industry with like a label or, it got weird pretty quick. Yeah.
Because you've been in a lot of labels, but you've always been able to get good deals.
Yeah, ever since then, I pretty much said if I ever sign to a record label, it's just going to be for like one album. That way, like if it's after a year after the album, if it's like a great relationship and we're still profiting and everything, we'll do it again. And if it's, if we didn't make money and we're arguing, then cut ties. It's super easy. Like, but I don't, I'll never sign a 5-year deal with anybody ever again. Like,
for anyone in your position, is that really hard to find a one album deal?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, it's crazy because I feel like the first like half of my career, like record labels were such a thing, and like all my friends would talk about like, yeah, I want to sign here. Oh, I signed here. Did you hear this person got dropped from? I don't hear anything about record labels anymore. Like they're just like obsolete.
It used to be cool to even just follow them. Like, who are they signing?
For sure. And it used to be like a real accomplishment to be like, I signed a record deal, and like it still kind of is, but like you don't need it at all. Like record companies were amazing because they really were the only people that could put your song on radio. Now it's like I haven't turned on the radio in 8 years. I plug in my Bluetooth. I listen to what I want to listen to on Spotify. And TikTok and Spotify, they are the new radio. So, unless you're like really strapped for cash, which is totally obviously fine, and you need a record label to come and, give you a loan, then I would understand why you would sign a record deal. But if you have, if you've saved enough or you have enough money to do it on your own, there's no reason to sign to a record deal.
Who are you listening to these days?
I don't listen to a lot of music. I'm not going to lie. I mean, not like new music, I would say. But when I'm in the gym, cliche, but, Drake, J. Cole is my favorite rapper probably right now. I've been listening to like a lot of old Mac Miller. It's like, it just makes me feel like I'm in high school again. It makes me feel really good. I love John Bellion. He's always been like, right up there as one of my favorites. John Mayer. Yeah, I mean, my favorites have not changed in the last decade. If you've asked me, I'd listen to the same people.
Your first 2 shows were pretty insane.
Which first 2 shows?
That you ever performed.
Oh, yeah. Snoop Dogg was number 1 and Mac Miller was number 2.
You opened for those guys?
Yes.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was, I don't even really remember it. It feels like another person ago. Like, it feels like it was not my life. It feels like a dream. But, yeah, I was signed to a manager right out of high school, and he said the first thing we're going to do is have you perform, concerts. And I'm like, no, that's not me. Like,
you were a shy kid.
Super shy. Like, night and day different, really, from who I am now in terms of, like, just being in the spotlight, I guess, or, like, liking attention. But if you're a musician, you kind of have to like the attention because you need to, you need to put yourself out there.
At that point, how many songs did you have out?
Like 3 or 4. 0 fans besides my mom, dad, and my sister.
Bottom 3.
Yeah, that's right. And my manager at the time, he was like this. He passed away, unfortunately. His name was Fred, and all he would really do is like take my songs straight from the studio on a CD and take them to strip clubs and try to get the DJ to play them.
At strip clubs?
Because I was like rapping back then, so he's like, "Oh, I think this could like be like game changing, like a white rapper." It did not work, but I remember one of the things he said to me was, "You have to start performing. We got to get you on stage." And I'm like, "It's not me. I'll make the music, but I don't want to perform ever," which ended up being my favorite thing in the entire world. But yeah, one day he gave me the opportunity to open for Snoop Dogg, and I couldn't say no.
Did you interact with Snoop that day?
Never met him.
What about
I met him later on. I did meet Mac Miller when I opened for him, which was really cool because he was my favorite artist at the time. Yeah.
Did you get any advice from him or anything?
No, it was pretty brief. But I felt like I knew him. Like he was honestly like one of the reasons I got into music. I just was following him and his friends, and they were all just making like, you know, music videos together, and like his friends were his managers and his producers, and like it was all just in-house, just a bunch of suburban kids. I'm like, that's what I want. That's really cool. I'm getting a lot of texts, so I want to make sure nobody died because of this earthquake. My family on the East Coast are asking me about that.
Are you okay?
Jake, did you just feel an earthquake?
4.7 in Pasadena.
What are we talking about?
Were you a big fan of Travie McCoy as well?
I was, yeah. I mean, I loved Billionaire. It's still probably my go-to karaoke song.
What was it like when you got to have him on as a feature?
That was really cool. I mean, that was probably the first feature ever that I had. Not even just like a big celebrity, but just a feature in general coming from Warner Brothers. So again, like there were things that I loved about Warner Brothers and things that I didn't love. And this was one of the things that I'll forever be like, you know, grateful. They got Travie McCoy on the record. I met him. He came to the music video shoot. So nice. And that was the last I ever saw or heard from him.
Was the grocery store the one that you used to work at?
No, that was just like some random grocery store that the music video director found in like maybe Miami or something.
Got it.
Yeah.
At what point did you decide to move to LA?
So Warner was around like 2014. They were like pretty much having me fly to LA like every 3 months, and they would put me in this apartment complex for like a month, and I would just be recording every single day, and then I would go back and it just felt like, you know, I'm going to LA way too much to not live here permanently. And so I probably moved here around like 2015. I've lived at this point in Hollywood, in Sherman Oaks. Now I'm even more west in like the Calabasas, West Hills area. And I don't think I'm ever going to leave, honestly. I wouldn't have said that a couple years ago, but since moving to this new neighborhood, I don't think we'll ever leave.
Your wife loves it too?
We love it. Like, we may never leave this house. We love it. Like, it has everything we need. The neighborhood is like such a community of like families, and like there's a school nearby where like you walk outside and like there's a bunch of little kids holding their mom's hand walking to school. Like, it feels like we're growing up, but in like the best, most beautiful way.
You have an amazing story of how you met your wife.
Yeah, I do. Yes.
How did it all go down?
So we were in Tampa, and at this point, me and my bandmates, we were on a tour bus touring. We're all single for a few years, and we kind of just like developed this like strategy, this formula, which, you know, kind of icks me out to talk about it now. But we would basically pull up to a city the morning of the show. We would Google, you know, the best college nearby. At that point, we would Google the best sorority at that college, and we would just go on their Instagram and invite all of these girls to the show.
This is why you're so good at social media.
Stop. I mean, looking back on this story, I tell it a lot, but like it does kind of ick me out. I sound like an asshole. But you know what? I was single. I was young. All my friends were young. Like, this is what we were supposed to be doing. You know, we were constant, like, number one priority was killing these shows and meeting all the fans. But then after the show, we would have a whole bunch of girls who were, you know, waiting to hang and party with us. And it was really fun. Anyways, we'll leave that for another time. But one time we were in Tampa, and I searched, I think it was USF. I don't remember what college I was performing at, but she went to USF. And so I was playing at like this little college in Tampa.
Was it a college show?
Like, it was a college show, yeah.
They booked you.
They booked me.
And those are always the highest paying gigs, right?
Yeah, that was nice. But it was a really small college. Like, I remember like performing like literally on the steps of like a sorority house to like a lawn of like girls. It was kind of weird. It was very weird, but it was the day that, I came across my future wife on Instagram. And yeah, I look back on that day and just think like it's crazy like how one little thing can just change your whole life.
Did she come to the show that day?
No, so I was playing that college show, and then the next day I had a headlining show in Tampa. So I said, "Hey, come to my show tomorrow." She didn't end up coming. She had a boyfriend at the time, which kind of fizzled out over time. But she was from Florida. I was living in California, but I'm from Florida. So every time I would kind of go back to Florida, we would kind of rekindle. And yeah, it was just like a lot of like meeting and ghosting each other and coming back and going to a movie and then ghosting each other for a few months. Like it didn't happen right away. It was like a year of just kind of like, her fizzling out with her boyfriend and me figuring out my stuff. And sooner or later, we just kind of started like realizing like, what are we doing? Like we are kind of like the same person, but you're a girl and I'm a guy. And so we started FaceTiming a lot. And I think that just kind of took it to the next level. We would like fall asleep on FaceTime. We're like, this is getting kind of gushy. Like, could we possibly be like boyfriend and girlfriend material? And then once the pandemic started, that was it. I started hanging with her every day at my parents' house, and seeing like how well she got along with my family. It was just like, that's all I needed to see.
Now you guys are living together, married.
Yeah, she's the best.
How'd you propose?
I proposed by sending her on like this little like scavenger hunt.
Did she have an idea it was happening?
She did. It was her birthday. So I think I didn't think on that day that she had any idea, because I didn't think she would think I would do it on her birthday. But if you ask her now, she says, she was pretty sure it was going to happen. But it was like maybe 11 in the morning, and I sneak out of the house. She's like literally walking around the house looking for me. I'm gone. I'm already in Santa Monica. And I text her and I say, go to my studio. And she finds like a little red envelope. And I basically sent her on like a scavenger hunt around the house or around like the area with different red envelopes. And then like the last one said like, there's going to be a limo picking you up in an hour or something. And then when she got into the limo, there was another red envelope. And
so at this point, she's.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the second she opened the first red envelope, she knew something was happening, and I was gone, which I would never just normally peace out. So she's like, something's happening. And the limo took her to like this kind of private spot in Santa Monica. And right before leaving the limo, there was another card that the driver gave her. There was like maybe 5 or 6 red envelopes, kind of narrating what to do and like what to look for. And yeah, and then she walked down like this long sidewalk on the beach, and we collect corks from all like our special occasions, and like we write, the date and like what the occasion was on each one. And I kind of just like displayed them, like the corks, in like ring cases, like along the walkway. And yeah, it was just a nice, beautiful, sunset in Santa Monica on the beach.
What a beautiful day.
Yeah, and then I surprised her. All she wanted to do was karaoke for some reason on her birthday. So I rented out a karaoke bar, and she didn't know that like all of her people from Florida were there. So we walked in, and she just assumed it was all like her LA friends. And then like she sees her dad and her best friends from Florida, and she just starts crying. And it was really awesome.
What a day.
Yeah.
That's
best
awesome.
Day. Second best day. The best day was our wedding, but yeah.
Your wedding looked insane.
Thank you so much.
If you can go back to any moment during that day, what would it be?
I think I would go back to the party because it's what I remember the least. I kind of took everything.
Did you get drunk?
I got like tipsy, but that mixed with like the overwhelmingness, and then also like right when the party started, it started to get kind of dark. So like it felt like my like senses were kind of fading away, whereas the rest of the day I kind of remember and I was very present. But I wish I could just go back and do the whole thing over again. It was the best day ever. It was really great.
Where was it?
It was up in Solvang.
Oh.
At this villa called Sunstone Villa.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Have you been to the ostrich farm up there?
I have, yeah.
So much fun.
So much fun.
We went right after the wedding. We
Yeah,
rode
pretty much.
ostriches. Can we go back to the Us Against Them era?
Yeah.
The album's about to drop. The charts were important.
Yeah.
What was your feeling the night leading up to it?
It's so hard to remember, but like as you said, the charts, and it was also different. Like I remember like being in heavy promo mode to be like, all right, when this drops, we're gonna be on Twitter with the hashtag like Us Against Them to #1. Like Twitter hashtags on Twitter were a thing back then, and it was all leading people to go buy the album on iTunes.
That was the important thing.
That was the thing. If you could get your album to like #1 on the iTunes charts, successful album, that's it. Even if it's for a night. And so I remember being like on live stream. I don't even remember like the website that we live streamed on. It was something that like we don't use anymore. And like me and all my bandmates would just be on this live stream, like in a hotel room, like answering tweets while we were on live stream, like while people were buying the album, like responding to them. It was such a different time. Social media was so different back then. The way that people stream and buy music was so much different back then. It was just exciting. It was really exciting. Yeah.
And you did something really cool with the golden ticket.
Yes, I forgot about that. We put 5, I believe, golden tickets.
Did you do it yourself?
No, I think Warner Brothers did that. Actually, no, this was before Warner Brothers. This was my first record label called E1. But they did that. And we basically put golden tickets in 5 physical albums. And this was the first time I, had ever seen my album on shelves in Target and Walmart. And it was the coolest feeling ever. But I think like 3 golden tickets were found and 2 just are still somewhere out there in the back of like a closet in Best Buy. But basically, if you found one of these golden tickets, you got to come to my shows forever for free.
What a cool promo.
It was cool. I don't think anybody's ever found it and used the ticket, because I've only seen like on social media someone with it. But
they had a photo of it?
Yeah, I think so. But going back to like how record labels could just be so great or so bad, I remember the first time we walked into Best Buy to buy the physical album, which is at that point the most important day of my life. And I walk in and the back cover is flipped upside down on every single one. Like they were printed wrong.
It was pressed
wrong. I'm like, you got one job. You got one job. But yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
What a different time.
Super different time. Yeah. There's way more pressure now. There's way more like...
Pressure in the sense of what?
Pressure in the sense of like, back then you make a song, you make a music video for it, you put it on YouTube, you tweet the link out and it's done. You hope that it does well. Now it's like you put a song out and now you're 50% done. Then starts the work of like creating all the content for it. Not just one music video, but like all of these, you have to come up with like these clever hooks and these videos that you're going to put on TikTok, on Instagram, on Snapchat, on Facebook Reels, on YouTube Shorts. Like there's so many things that you have to think about in terms of content these days, which, it's fun, but like I know so many musicians that are like, this is not what I signed up for. I signed up to make the music. But the sad truth is, if you want to be a musician that, can get to as many people as possible, you have to utilize all these platforms and you have to stay creative and make sometimes, videos that give you the ick and, you just got to do it.
With the amount of work that you have to put in after a song is released,
yeah,
does that kind of make you a little more hesitant about what you put out? Because if you don't think you'll be able to push it on social media?
That's a good question. A lot of times I will be in the studio and I won't change a song or write a song specifically of like, oh, this will work on TikTok. But that thought does naturally run through, I think, every artist's head when they're writing a song. Like, okay, this chorus is really good, but like, can you hear it like having some kind of moment on social media? Like, can people do something with the lyrics, or does the beat make you want to do this or that? Like, that is something that you have to consider when you're making the song, because you want it to blow up on social media. That's today's radio. So you definitely do have to consider it, but I don't write songs thinking of like how I'm going to do social media. Once the song's done, it's like, all right, now go back to the drawing board, and the same amount of creativity and time that you put into crafting those lyrics and melodies, now figure out what kind of videos you can make for this that will blow up the song.
What gives you the okay to put out a song? Do you show your circle and based on their response?
I show my circle, but if it's a song that I love, it's coming out no matter what. There are a lot of songs that I'll show my wife, and she's a harsh critic, but I love it. When she says she loves a song, I'm like, oh, this is the best song ever. Like this will work because she loves it. And then sometimes she'll be like, it's good, but like you should change this part, or like this part's annoying. Like
annoying.
She'll say that straight up, and which is totally cool. Like I like there's an instrumental, like a post chorus that has like this synth that I think is really cool, and she's like, it hurts my ear. I'm like, you're the average listener. I need that kind of feedback from you. So like her, my sister, my parents, my friends, I'll definitely send them songs, and I'll gladly take consideration or like, critique from all these people. And
What'd your wife first think of your music when she heard it?
It's a great question. I do think I was making some of the best music of my life when I first met her. A song called Save Me, songs called Could Have Been You, Last Text, like 15 Minutes. Like those are some of my favorite songs I've ever made. And that was like right around the time where I was talking to her. So she had never heard of me when I DM'd her. Her sorority sisters they knew who I was, but she had no idea. So I don't really know what she first thought of my music. And if you ask her now, she loves my music. There's some songs that she'll openly say she doesn't like, which just like any artist, I don't like every song from some artists, but she's a good critic because she's always honest. Yeah.
What's the day-to-day life like now?
Well, she has a 9 to 5. She's a speech pathologist. Are you talking about us or me as a musician?
For you, like, what are you doing the rest of the day? What are you doing tomorrow?
Yeah. The rest of the day, I'm just going to go work on music. I have a song coming out soon called How on Earth with a big Chinese artist.
Ooh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so it just got mastered. So now I'm going to go, figure out what kind of social media things I can do to have it ready.
You're pushing that in US as well?
Yeah, that's going to be global. And then, as I said, I just have a list of like videos that I have to make for Chinese social media. And, it's funny because like a lot of American fans are like, what's going on? Like, this is the first year that you haven't toured in America. Or like, hey, we've heard that you're like doing all these videos for Chinese social media. What about us? But it's like, I have to like milk this moment in China, because one thing that I've learned from this industry is like things change so quickly. It's up and down and up and down. And like, you just don't know what tomorrow looks like. So I am kind of catching some heat from people for like kind of neglecting America, but I have kind of, at least for now, for this year, I'm sure I'll be back next year on the road in America, but I feel like right now I have exhausted touring in America. I've done it once or twice every year since 2015, 2014. And I just want to not only see more of the world, but meet new fans. Like these Chinese fans, a lot of them have been listening to me before Rumors came out. So they've been waiting for me to come, perform there for as long as I've been touring in America. So basically my message to anyone watching who's like, Jake, where's the US tour? Jake, why aren't you doing it's I have to concentrate on what's really working right now, because I want it to keep going and I want to keep building momentum and hopefully bring all that momentum back to the States so that we could play bigger shows in America. I don't love playing these same venues in America year after year. Like I want to see growth. As a musician, it's all about growth. And having a moment like this in China for someone who did kind of feel like they were plateauing for a little bit, it was like, it's the best thing in the world. It's the best feeling. It put a new fire under me. And I just hope that I could bring what's happening in China all over or back to America and keep it going.
Is that something you learned over your career, that when you're having a moment to really strike and hit it as hard as you can?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I said, there's new artists coming out every single day. You're fighting for the attention, from the listener. These people who are buying tickets, I'm very aware a lot of them are college kids or they don't have too much money and they're saving money. And, for them to spend money on your ticket, that's a big deal. VIP tickets, that's a big deal. Merch, a hoodie, like these things are expensive. And they can't afford to do that with all these artists, especially when there's people like Taylor Swift and, Sabrina Carpenter and like all these people that are probably a lot more expensive to go see. So it is like I'm competing with a lot of other artists, and I just kind of, when there is a moment, I have to strike, like you said, and I have to really just keep adding fuel to the fire. That's when like the real work starts. Yeah.
Don't be humble.
Okay.
When you had something come your way, what is something that you're really proud of how you handled it and you attacked it and you did it and you made the most of it?
Ooh. I think when I got dropped by Warner Brothers, they pretty much...
Was that 2015?
It was probably 2016, 2015, yeah. They pretty much said, if you want to make it on radio, you have to stop rapping, which was the reason I was gaining followers and the reason why they signed me, because, of my storytelling and my raps. And I basically wasn't liking the music we were putting out, which happened to be Rumors and, Dazed and Confused, because other people were stepping in and helping me write it, and there wasn't much rapping, and it didn't feel like me. Long story short, I got dropped from Warner because there was just too much creative difference. And at that point, I didn't know how to play really any instruments, a couple chords on guitar, no knowledge of piano. Um, I would go to other people's studio to have them make me beats, to have them record my vocals. I didn't really know anything about, doing it by myself. And so I think my proudest moment in my whole career is, I was really down for a little bit and it felt like my whole world was crashing. And I went to Guitar Center. I bought a bunch of stuff I didn't know how to use, but I recognized from all these hundreds of sessions that Warner put me in. And I just spent so many hours on YouTube figuring out how to produce, how to mix, how to master, how to play piano. And now I do it all from my bedroom. Like, I love having help from other writers and producers, but I can easily go home today and write a song, produce a song, mix it, master it from start to finish and put it out by myself, which I think is the coolest thing that I've learned or been able to kind of overcome. Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
It is, but once you finally figure out that like you can do it yourself, like you feel like, okay, like I'm the captain now. You know what I mean? Like you don't really need all these people and you don't need to rely on like other producers to have a free schedule to fit you in. Like, no, I could do this by myself. So yeah, I think that was one of the proudest moments. Yeah.
Was there anything that sticks out in your mind that you learned from those sessions that was like a really big moment for you?
Yeah, I remember many different sessions teaching me different things. I remember Wallpaper, who I did Lionheart with. He was like the first one that really taught me like how to use my like diaphragm and my voice, and like I screamed on that record, like not really screamed, but like I sang like the loudest and like the most I had ever sang, and he like pushed me to do that. And then I remember being in the studio with this guy named Red One, who is one of the biggest producers of all time.
Red One.
Yeah, Red One. Lady Gaga. He's done everybody. And I remember telling him, he played me a couple beats, and I said, nothing really resonates with me. Can we start from scratch? And he walked out on me. He didn't even say bye. He's like, okay. He walked out. I'm sitting there with my friend Joey on his couch for an hour and a half before we realized he wasn't coming back. His secretary comes in and says, yeah, he left. So clearly he didn't like how I handled it and how I didn't treat him like one of the biggest producers in the world. But that taught me, screw that. Like, stay true to, I'm not going to sit there and make a song if I don't like feel the creativity like bursting out of me. Like, why don't we just make something from scratch? So I learned a lot of great things and I learned a lot of not so great things from all these producers. But in the end, I learned, how to write and produce songs.
How did that feel for you as an artist, just going mindlessly writing with all these different people?
It was cool. I liked it.
Did you see it as a learning experience too?
I did. Yeah, I did. I remember feeling very like nervous walking into a session back then because these were like, Warner was putting me in with like the top of the line writers and producers. Like the guy who wrote Dazed and Confused with me went on to write Sugar by Maroon 5 like the next month. So like these were the top guys. And I just felt like I hadn't really deserved my spot in the room yet. Like these were like musical geniuses and I was just like this kid who was just recently signed. But like looking back, it's like, no, like they were really successful and they were knowledgeable in this category and I was over here doing my thing and I was killing it in my, creative way. So I think I didn't give myself enough credit going into those sessions. Now, walking into sessions with people that I've never met, not a big fan of it. I really only work with people that I've already worked with just because I don't know. I don't want to spend 8 hours banging my head against a wall with someone who I just met who, I could get something great out of it. I'm very aware of that. But also, like, I have so many talented friends. So, like, I know that I can go to them if I want to write music. I don't need new people.
How does the music work in China? Are you writing demos, submitting it to them, and then they're...
Like for my own music or for pitching songs?
For your own.
Well, I just signed with 88 Rising, so we've only released one song with them called Mini You. And at this point, it's kind of just been like, this is a song I love. Hopefully you guys love it too. We're putting it out. But just like any, partnership, I would love to know, their feedback. If I sent them a song and I'm like, this is the next single, and they're like, we don't think it'll work out here. Cool. Like, let's keep going. Let's try to find something else. Like, I trust these people and you have to trust them because they're on the other side of the world and they know what works in China. But in America, no, nobody's telling me anything in terms of, creative. Like, nobody can tell me like, oh, you got to change this lyric or this song title or this won't work in America. No, it's just me.
Is China almost like the United States where there's like Washington and Florida and then New York? So when you go to China, they have all these different markets that are all
Like A markets and B markets.
yeah, and consuming the same social media, the same radios, the
I
same.
think. I mean, I really have I've been there 3 times now, but I've hit the same like 7 or 8 major cities a couple times. We haven't really like branched out into like the B markets. I don't even really know if the B markets have concerts. Like if artists are like go there. I think from what I've heard, like the A markets, Shanghai and Guangzhou, and these are the places that artists from America and from around the world come and perform, and you just kind of do that once a year. So yeah, I don't know.
Does Brandy go with you?
She's about to come for the first time. It's our last stop of our honeymoon, dude.
Oh, in China?
Yes.
Wow.
We're going on in like 3 weeks. We're going to Italy and Greece.
What part?
All over. We're gonna be there for 3 weeks because we have 2.
That's what I did.
Really?
Italy, Greece, and Paris.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
Well, we're going Italy, Greece, Italy because we have 2 friends separately getting married in Italy at the bookends of our honeymoon. So we're going from LA to Italy and Greece and Italy to China back to LA. We're doing the full circle around the globe for our honeymoon.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. But she'll finally get to see me play a festival, which is gonna be like the coolest end to our 3-week honeymoon.
Is China just one date?
One show. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you going to Milos in Greece?
We are going to Milos, yeah.
Love that island.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Everyone keeps saying that Mykonos is better than Milos, but Brandy was like, no, I saw on TikTok that Mykonos is overrated, so we're going to do Milos. I'm like, cool, just let me know.
We did. Yeah, that's what where are we going tomorrow?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, she's been crushing the itinerary game. I'm like, surprise me. I kind of want to just be surprised.
I know. As much as I want to chime in, I feel like I'll just ruin it.
Yeah. Brandy is really good at like, all the logistics, and I'm like, I'll be there.
Yeah. I'll bring the vibes.
Yeah.
Is there any moments from tour that stick out to you that were just crazy?
Yeah. I mean,
you've
crazy
toured
in different ways.
so many times all around the entire country.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, touring has changed just like music has changed. So like in 2015, we were a bunch of single guys staying up till 3 drinking on the bus with a bunch of girls.
With security guards.
With security guards. Like we couldn't step out of the tour bus until the security was there to help me walk to the venue. Now it's like, now I don't even do a tour bus because it's just too expensive and it's just not worth it. Like we'll easily just like hop in like a cool like Mercedes Sprinter van. It's just 6 of us. We don't really drink. We don't drink. I should say we literally don't drink. Maybe one shot before like the big shows like New York. Straight from the stage, I'm right in the car. I would love to just get a shower and go straight to sleep. Like I'm 31 years old. I know that that's not like old, but I definitely feel the effects of like I definitely feel way older than I did at 25. I need my sleep. I need my alone time. Back then it was like being on a tour bus with like a lot of people was like, I'm never alone. It's always me and my friends. Like now it's like, I need my space. I need my own hotel room. I need to just unwind. Touring has changed a lot. And the fans have changed a lot because they've grown up with me, which is one of the coolest things ever. Some people who literally went to my shows in 2013 are still coming to the shows in the same cities, and they have like kids now. Like it's really, really crazy to see how much we've all just grown together. It's like a beautiful thing.
When you sell out a venue, is there a bonus?
There is a bonus, yeah. It's not huge. I mean, touring in America is just not profitable for me right now. Like a little bit. But like once we pay for the tour bus, which is like $60,000-$70,000, hotel rooms for everybody, the gas for the tour bus, food for everybody, like it adds up. And then a percentage goes to the management, a percentage goes to the agents, and like I come home with a little bit of money, and if and that's not why I do it, but at this time in my life, like I'm very much looking to the future of how to do all this and have the passion and the creativity for music, but also make a living where I could provide for my wife and my future family forever, the way that my family did for me. And so, going to these 250 cap rooms, these bars, and making $2,000 a night that I have to, split and pay, like, it's just not really worth it right now. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's tough because I love being on stage and I love seeing everybody sing the words and the connection between me and the fans. But like, I just feel like I'm a little exhausted of it, and I just need to take like a little bit of a break. in America.
Yeah.
With that being said, shows in China are the best thing ever. You know, I don't really like to talk about money, but we'll get paid like for one festival way more than a full tour in America. So it's like I have to milk these moments and I have to save up, and I am saving up, and I was just lucky enough to buy a house, which I've always wanted to do. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to not have money be in the back of my mind when you're getting to my age and when you want to have kids soon and when you have a house and all that stuff. So it definitely plays a role.
Do you write for people?
I don't intentionally write for people, but songs that I don't end up putting out, we'll pitch it to other people. So like NCT 127, a big K-pop band, just put out a song that I liked it. It just wasn't for me. I made it maybe like 2 years ago and just didn't really fit my vibe. And it was a song that I sent to my manager, and you know, months and months and months later, they're like, "Hey, this band is gonna cut it and put it out." And we're like, "Sick, cool."
That's cool.
Yeah, and I have hundreds of songs that I have not put out, so hopefully those will just kind of one by one get taken. Yeah.
I remember you sold out the Paramount in Long Island.
Yeah.
And you got a brick.
That was probably the last time I saw you. I'm pretty sure.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And they give you a brick with your name on it. And I thought it was the coolest thing.
That was pretty cool.
Did you always collect what those venues gave you when you sold them out?
No venues gave me anything. That was
I thought people, like someone gives a skateboard.
What was the skateboard? I mean, when I say no venues, there were maybe 2 or 3 venues in my whole career where like they commemorate a sold out show.
I thought you were going city to city collecting all this random shit with your name on it.
No. I've seen like bigger acts, like when you sell out Madison Square Garden, they give you like a plaque or a trophy. But the size of rooms that I was doing, you know, 1,000, 2,000 cap rooms, I think it was kind of like a special niche thing for those venues to like commemorate it. But that literally might have been the only thing a venue's ever given me.
Changed my life.
Yeah. A brick. I got a brick.
It's so cool.
I can't believe you remember that. That's so funny.
Because I remember them handing it to you and it was wrapped, and you unwrapped it and it was the coolest thing. Like, and then you got the Chipotle unlimited membership.
Dude, that was one of the best gifts I ever got.
I was there when you got it.
I know. Yeah, you were. That's insane, dude. Yeah, I got the Chipotle unlimited, which we saved so much money on because we would go on tour. And I didn't know if at the beginning if it just worked for like one meal, but like we would send like our merch guy while we're doing sound check to just go get Chipotle for like all 12 of us, and it would just all be free. And we were getting to the point where we were paying for everyone in line. It was sick.
You guys took advantage of it.
But bro, one time I had the worst food poisoning from like the green salsa, and I never had Chipotle again.
While you had that card?
No, it was after.
Oh,
yeah.
Damn.
But even so, if I had that card today, sorry Chipotle, I would not eat it.
Really?
Yeah, there's something about I think like the oil that the chicken is cooked in. It makes my stomach go crazy.
Oh,
yeah,
that's wild.
I haven't had Chipotle in years. Yeah.
I thought you were always the Chipotle guy.
Only when I'm being sponsored. No, seriously, I still wouldn't be eating it. It doesn't feel healthy enough these days. I don't know.
If you had to start over with the knowledge you have now, how would you do it in today's world?
So if I started over, but like there was TikTok and Instagram 10 years ago.
Yeah, if you started over in today's world. So today there was TikTok,
If I started
Instagram.
making music today.
Yes.
Good question. Yeah, I would say to anybody who's starting today, the number one thing that will always be the most important is make music that you love. Don't let anybody change the way that you write music or what you listen to. Like, your personality should flow into the songs that you make, and nobody should tell you otherwise. Because at the end of the day, no social media, no record, like nothing's gonna work unless your music is good, and unless you really put yourself into your music, like it won't be good because people can tell like when you're lying and when you're not being genuine. So number one, just hone in on the music, make it great, make it something that you're proud of, and then number two, you have to get out of your own head and you have to become influencer. And I have a lot of friends who just won't do it, who will make like full albums and then they're just like, I feel weird being on camera, and I totally respect it. I totally get it because I was that kid back then. I didn't want to step on stage, and it's kind of like the same thing if you think about it. Like you have all these ideas and this music built up in your head, but you don't want to be this guy on camera making TikTok trends. But I think my advice would just be go for it and make as many videos as you can that feel genuine to you, just like the songwriting. And if you have the songs and you have the videos and it all feels good, I think it'll work.
Do Do you have a certain amount of videos you try and post a week?
I try to post something every day. Like, it's really hard because I don't want to just flood, with like things that I like it to have substance, of course. Even if it's a video of us transforming a wall in our dining room, like I still look at those videos. I'm like, oh, this is a cool video. Like, I'm proud of this. Like, it's not just something to help me gain followers. Like, it is something that I care about. Everything I post, like, I truly like or care about, or makes me laugh, or I had fun filming. So I do try to think every single day of like, all right, what can I put out today? What can I post that's, hopefully gonna blow up and make people be like, who's Jake Miller? It says in his bio he's a musician. Where's his music? Let's go see. That's the goal.
Do you know how many you post in China every day?
So I send them like 2 or 3 videos every day.
And do those go up immediately, you think?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. But there's this one platform out there called Bilibili. It's like their YouTube. It's all horizontal, kind of long form stuff. And they posted a video this week where it's like, here's some songs you might know of me. And then it's just like Rumors, and I sing 5 seconds of Rumors. Parties, I sing 5 seconds of Parties. Ross and Rachel, and there's like 4 or 5 songs in China that do really well. And that video this week has gained me like 250,000 followers just off this one video. Like, stuff like that doesn't happen in America. And so people are like finally in China starting to connect my music with my name, because so many people have heard Rumors, but they don't know who I am. And so our goal right now is just to kind of connect all these songs that are doing really well with me, so that people come, see the concerts and stuff like that.
How far in advance do they book you over there?
It takes a long time to book because we need to get visas and the flights. It's, 4 or 5, 6 months in advance. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Crazy.
I'm so excited for you. I'm so happy for you.
Dude, thank you so much. They told me that Rumors has more streams in China than Love Story by Taylor Swift.
Whoa. Oh my God.
I'm like, are you thinking of the same Rumors, Jake Miller? I don't think so. It's crazy. They told me we sat at a table at Douyin, the TikTok over there, at like this big conference room, and they said everybody in China under 35 has heard Rumors. That's like just something that I've always wanted, like my music to like get out there on that level. So now the whole strategy is just making these people know who I am. So it's not just the song. You know what I mean?
So are you going to put out more songs similar to Rumors?
That's what my label wants me to do. I'm finding it very difficult to create songs that sound like Rumors but are still, me in 2024.
It's almost a decade old.
Yeah, it's outdated. It's I mean, at least in America, it's outdated. And I like writing acoustic songs. I like writing sad songs. Every time I write like kind of like an upbeat, happy song, to me it's just not as fun to write. I want to feel something when I'm writing. I want to feel sad. I want to feel nostalgic. So just like a summery, windows down song to me, even though it could be a good song, there's always a piece of it that's missing for me. So it's hard, but I'm trying to recreate Rumors.
I'm excited.
In the 2024 Jake Miller way.
Guys, go listen to Jake everywhere: Spotify, YouTube, Bilibili. You heard it here first.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Thanks for coming by.
This is so much fun.
This really was.
Let's not go another 10 years without seeing each other.
I like that idea.
All right. Appreciate it.
Lightweights out. Thank you so much.
Dude, thank you.